First, to my right, Hong Sang-geol, Professor of Public Policy at Seoul-based Kookmin University. Professor Hong, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And to my left, An Jung-sun Sung, Professor of International Law at Graduate School of International Studies at Yonsei University. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I'm sure both of you have watched the National Assembly impeach President Park Geun-hye, at least on a parliamentary level. Now, I want to start with you, Professor Hong. So the final vote count in Parliament was 234 to 56. That's more than enough to secure this the majority, to two-thirds majority in Parliament in this 300-member National Assembly. What are you reading into this?
Well, I think the National Assemblyman just reflects what the people have wanted for the past about 5 to 6 weeks, that the President Park Geun-hye should step down one way or another. If she resigned from the position, that's fine immediately, but because she refused to do that, so the impeachment vote at the National Assembly should be made kind of overwhelmingly. So otherwise, there might be some kind of unofficial impeachments towards the National Assembly. That's, I think, the message that 234-member majority vote on today's impeachment.
Now, Professor An, the ball is now in the Constitution Court. Tell us about that. What steps lie ahead now?
Once the copy of resolution delivered to the Korean Constitutional Court, and the court will have 180 days. That's by law. So we have 180 days maximum supposed to get any kind of result, whether she have to expel or not.
According to the bill, the impeachment bill that the National Assembly passed on to the Constitutional Court judges, what are some of the major violations or that President Park violated in terms of the constitutional law of this country?
Okay, before we talk about the issue, in order to get the articles of impeachment, there are two parts. The first one is constitutional violation, and second part is a statutory violation. In terms of constitutional violation, that if you actually see the copy of the article of impeachment is over 40 pages long, so it's quite lengthy. And when I go over it, then basically they have more than 10 articles, and they decided for the...
That up until now, President Park had immunity to any kind of arrest or interrogations, required interrogation by prosecutors because she holds presidency. Once she is impeached, in fact, by the Constitutional Court, what are some of the corruption charges that are against her? Because as of now, the public sentiment is very against her, apparently. Of course, today I think there was a survey that more than 80% of the South Korean public were in favor of impeaching the president. Despite that, the accusations remain as accusations as of now. Nothing has been proven just yet. But what are some of the corruption charges that will be held against President Park Geun-hye once she's impeached and she becomes just an ordinary, average South Korean citizen?
Well, I mean, if you see the Korean Constitution, there's actually the president had the absolute immunity against during her the post, right? The problem was once she's impeached officially and stepped down from his position, there will be that means there's time they start the ordinary criminal prosecution. So she will take as just like the average person. So, and then what happened after that? Well, the thing is like the criminal litigation, you have to really go through it, and what happened depends on what kind of witness they have, evidence they will get it from prosecutors' side.
Right. So, Professor Hong, politically, now, as we just mentioned, President Park has constitutional law violations that need to be assessed. She also has criminal charges against her that also need to be assessed. How does this affect, or is this a big blow, I'm sure it is, for her ruling Conservative Party?
Well, so far they have been divided actually, but the outcome came out now, and then the opposition party members are now began to demand the immediate kind of resign, even though she was impeached. But from that to that idea, most of the party members were against that. So I think it's a crisis for the Saenuri Party, of course, the Conservative Party, but it might be a chance of reconstruct and rebuild the whole party system to a new kind of party, a new conservative party. So as it is now, they cannot really win the next coming election. No question about that. So I think it's about time to reunite, remodeling, and reconstruct the conservative parties.
We actually know that Japan is also watching this case very closely out of concern that there are certain agreements, country-to-country agreements that was established that the Japanese government is no longer confident that that would actually go through.
Of course, acting president cannot actually make any kind of new bilateral talks or new global relationship with other countries. That's kind of there is no written statement like that, but there is a commonsensical knowledge, and also about that issue with the Japanese government. It is not a treaty, but an agreement between the two governments, Abe governments, Abe administration and the Park Geun-hye administration. If President Park Geun-hye was impeached and then final decision was made and kicked out of her office, and if Korean governments kind of nullify these agreements, bilateral agreements, then I think the Korean government will lose its face. Okay, for a time being, and will be blamed and criticized from the global society. But that's it. And in most of the cases, any kind of bilateral agreements from the former governments have to be respected. That's the rule of law. I mean, it's kind of international law, this kind of common sense. So I don't think the new governments, which will come in next in the 19th president, would not just forget about the agreements that President Park Geun-hye made with Abe, and we are not going to follow. We are not going to buy that. That kind of statement may increase another very dangerous situation, and the Korea discount, for example, because nobody is going to believe that, okay, from now on, we are not going to believe with any bilateral agreement with the Korean government. So I don't think any kind of governments will take that kind of risk again.
Right. Another factor here, another very important protruding factor here is that this change or impeachment of the president was led by the public mass. What are your thoughts on that, Professor Hong?
Well, we have very long tradition that throughout these authoritarian regimes, and we have experienced that kind of always resist to this kind of undemocratic rulings, right? So that was a strong and traditional ways of Korean people that resist against any kind of not unjust regime. So I think it is really a big win on the part of the Korean citizens for democracy. But the win is win, and we have won, and that's it. From now on, because the opposition party and the people made a decision to, okay, let's take the legal method to kick President Park out of her office. Right? Then we have to follow the rule of law. That's what I'm saying.
I think this really is a significant time in Korea's modern history to be a really good turning point and to make it into an opportunity for the better of the society and the country. All right, Professor Hong Sang-geol and Professor An Jung, thank you so much for being here with us.